Okay, so I'd done this video last year for Football Manager 2017 and a lot of people liked it. I'm back on Football Manager 2018. I'm giving you the beginner's guide to Football Manager. That's coming up in this video. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, and it's been a long time, to say the least, on the Java FC YouTube channel. Obviously, I'd made Football Manager videos in the past, and this is my first one, I believe, for nearly a year. I think I actually might have made one in January, but I'm back for Football Manager 2018. I was considering it. I have mentioned that in a previous channel update I've done recently. Go and check that out if you haven't. But I have considered it, and I am going to be coming back for Football Manager 2018. I've literally just downloaded the game. I know I'm a few days late, and I know I didn't play the beta, but that was when I was considering it. And today, as I said, I'm giving you the beginner's guide to Football Manager 2018. However, this year it's going to be different because last year I already knew how things worked because I played the beta, whereas now I've literally just downloaded it. So if we head on over to Football Manager right now, you're going to see that obviously I've literally started up, and this is the first screen you get. You get actually a bit of music, which I found quite cool. That's not been in previous Football Managers, but it's been in here this year, so that's pretty cool in my opinion. And obviously the first page is quite self-explanatory. You fill out your name, your surname. You don't have to put your actual name. You can set a password if you want. I'm not going to do that. And obviously you go through your nationality. You can do other languages spoken if you really want. Other favourite teams, or just one favourite team. I've got one favourite team, it's Liverpool. You can probably tell by that if you check out my previous videos on this channel. Then you can set a preferred formation. I mean, I'm not too bothered about preferred formation. It really depends on, you know, the type of players you're working with. And then obviously you can set your responsibilities, but you can do all of this in the game. And obviously your preferred formation literally means nothing. It doesn't mean you've got to play that way. It just helps out in terms of the game understanding how you like to play. Next thing, you can go onto your appearance, and this is where you can really start to customize what you want. And obviously I'm just going to fill in my own details. I wonder how young you can make yourself. Okay, so I can actually put my actual age. In previous Football Managers you couldn't put your actual age, which was pretty disappointing, but obviously if you were of my age anyway. But obviously this year I can actually put my age, which is pretty decent. Okay, so we've basically just gone through all the personal preference stuff on your character's appearance, but now this is where it really gets interesting. This is where you start your Football Manager save, and as you can see, I've literally just downloaded it. If you want to download any extra content, you can do so there in the download section. I'm not sure if there will be much there at the moment. There's the in-game editor, and if you go to the Steam Workshop, that might take a while to load, so I'm not going to bother doing that. But you can download the in-game editor, which just basically means you can edit things within the game. I'm not going to download that. Then all the preferences are down here, but you can literally do all this stuff in-game. Let's actually just start up a save, and the save I'm going to be going with is Tottenham. I'm going to be doing this on the channel. I'm obviously going to download the badges. I might show you that in another video. If not, go and check it out on YouTube how you can download the actual badges. But this just proves that I literally haven't set up the game just yet. I'm going to go for advanced setup, but as I said, I will be going with Tottenham Hotspur in my save on this channel, so be sure to keep an eye out for that over the next few days. But once you've picked your team, it basically loads the database, and then you can pick which countries you want to have within your game. Now, the more countries you load, the slower the game will be, but obviously the less players you'll have if you only load a couple of leagues, or you won't actually be able to manage as many teams. So if you only load the English leagues, you won't be able to manage in Spain unless you adjust that in later seasons. And bear in mind, it takes a full season for the effect to take place. So let's just say you're managing Spurs, and the only leagues you've got selected are England, and then Barcelona sack their manager. You wouldn't know about that for a starter, but you wouldn't actually be able to manage them at all unless you added the Spanish leagues to your game, and it would actually take effect the following season. So bear that in mind. Do select the leagues that you want. I'm just going to select the obvious ones: France, Germany, and Italy. And what I tend to do is I actually tend to select these, but I only tend to have the top divisions in the countries that I'm not actually going to be managing in. So you can see the estimated game speed. My computer's quite old now, and that will just basically tell you how fast that, you know, the game's going to run on your computer. Now, a few more advanced options down here. What I'm actually going to do is disable player attribute masking. That is one of the options that's quite controversial. Some people have it on, some people have it off. I'm going to have it on, and it basically just means some players' attributes are hidden And if you tick that box, it basically means they're not hidden, so you can actually obviously have full awareness of a player's attributes. And then basically you're pretty much done on that page. You can select when you want it to start, depending on, you know, whether you want it to start at the start of the season or the Champions League or whatever. But everyone starts in pre-season, so there's no point changing that. And then it's just going to ask you, are you sure you want to start the game? You click start, and then we'll wait for it to load. Whilst it's loading up, one thing I have actually just realised is that it's actually asked me what team I want to manage at the start, whereas usually that's right at the end of this process. So that's obviously a new feature for Football Manager 2018. Okay, so that seems to have loaded. So now we're onto the section where you basically customise your manager's profile, which basically means that you select what type of manager you want to be, and it actually allows you to change some of your attributes within the game. So obviously we've created this profile, which is obviously the first part, where it's basically putting in your personal details and obviously how your manager wants to look, and you're basically going to use that profile unless you want to create a new one. And this is what I'm on about. So the choose managerial style, and basically what I actually do is I suggest it for the team I've picked to manage those Spurs. So it actually selects Continental Pro, which is, I believe, is the highest coaching badge you can get, and then obviously it's selected Dynamic International Footballer at global level. There's a few more options on there this year round, which is quite nice, but I always leave that suggest based on Spurs. Basically, I don't even know what that's trying to tell me. It looks pretty similar to last year to me. But basically, you can select these defaults, these presets, and it basically adjusts these attributes below, which are your coaching and managerial attributes and mental attributes, basically, to suit what type of manager you'll be. So if you're a tactician, you'd obviously have high player knowledge, high motivating, high tactical coaching ability, and high mental coaching ability. Whereas if you're a bit more of a youth developer, then obviously you're going to have better youngster knowledge, better working with youngsters. So you can basically do that, or you can do your own. And I tend to do my own. And basically the way it works is you've used all your points there, but if you select one, then it gives you an extra 13 points to use somewhere else. So I'm going to go and select mine, and then I'll come back to you in just a moment. Okay, so I've selected my attributes, and basically I've gone for high defensive in terms of coaching, because I like to be quite a defensive-minded coach. Because obviously if you defend well, then you can go and get a goal. If you keep a clean sheet, then you cannot lose. As I used to say, tactical and mental also very, very high in terms of the coaching ability. Now, in terms of goalkeeping, I've just put it really, really low because I'm not going to be a goalkeeper coach. I'll get goalkeeper coaches to do that. And in terms of the mental attributes, I've gone with a similar type of strategy. I've gone for motivating, man management, and adaptability really high. And to actually work that out, I've basically lowered player knowledge and youngster knowledge, because basically at the end of the day you've got scouts. You don't really need that high player knowledge and youngster knowledge, so I have lowered them down. And basically when you're happy with that, you can keep changing it until you feel like you're happy with that. And if you want some information on what each attribute means, it basically does tell you if you go on that little I, which is quite handy. But obviously you confirm, then it asks you, would you like to start playing or add additional managers, maybe if you're playing with a few of your friends or whatever. I'm just going to start playing because it's just me on this, and then usually it asks you to save the game. I'm not sure if it does in Football Manager 2018. It does, so I'm going to name this Spurs YT, Spurs YouTube, save that, and it should save, and you're pretty much loaded into the game. Okay, and once you're loaded into the game, you'll be hit with your inbox where you get the basic messages that you get every single time. Football Manager, you get that you've taken charge, you get a welcome from the chairman, and then basically you attend meetings with the chairman, the assistant manager, and potentially the staff. Then you get a transfer update, which is basically your players on loan and any future transfers that may be coming in. You also get an injury update of any current players that are injured and how long they're likely to be out for. That's a new feature where it actually shows you where on the body that the injury is, which is pretty decent for those people who do not know. And then what's this? It's the responsibilities at Spurs, which obviously we selected earlier, but you can change this. I'll just show you quite quickly. But you can change the responsibilities by going to staff, then responsibilities, and then all of the options are there, and it is basically drop-down menus, so you can change that very, very easily. Okay, so I'm going to leave this video here. I'm going to do a part 2 to this when I've actually had a look at some of the options myself. But basically, that was just an introduction of how to actually get into the game, how to get started with Football Manager if it is your first time, if you are a beginner. If you have found this video useful, be sure to let me know by slapping a like on the video. Also, comment down below if it's helped you at all and which team you're going with. Let me know what saves you will be doing. Also, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you are new around here. keep an eye out for the second part, so turn the notification bell on. Go and check out my social medias, and obviously be sure to hang around for this Spurs save, which will be coming very, very shortly. But thank you all for watching, guys. Till next time, goodbye.